Hey folks, I'm Craig Bielek, the Marketing Director for Ogden Regional Medical Center. Thanks for joining us today. On our program, we're going to talk with Whitney Johnson right here. And Whitney is an alumni of our ACT, also known as the Alcohol and Chemical Treatment Program. And it's nice of you to come on and share your story, Whitney. Appreciate that very much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. First off, how long ago did you go through the program?
I went through the program in June of 2009.
So quite a while then.
Yep.
Yeah, more than 10 years.
Yep.
Yeah, and you've successfully made it, I guess is a good way to put it, right?
10 years sober.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
So, and again, it's brave of you to come on and say this and talk with us about it, but how did you get started? I mean, how'd this all start out? Just fun and games, high school stuff, that kind of thing? Or
You know, a lot of people have a fun and games story. Mine is not that. About age of 12, I don't know, some type of growing up situation, but just started having self-esteem problems and started doing some self-harm, some cutting and some things like that. And then, had some friends that were drinking and, testing the waters with marijuana, and I joined in with that. And then I had a minor surgery on my mouth, and they gave me some Lortabs, and off I went.
that was that.
That was that.
Yeah, and this is a story that we hear often from
Yep.
people. A lot of people discover opioids through surgery or an injury or something like that. And it's pretty common, right?
Yeah,
Right?
and I mean, that was about the age of 13, so
Wow.
yeah.
That is young.
Yeah.
That is young. So what happened after that? It just escalated over the years? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. So where it didn't really start with fun and games for me, I mean, I was depressed. I, had low self-esteem. I liked the feeling that the drugs and the alcohol gave me because it made me feel like I could get through the day. So, I was drinking, I was experimenting with other drugs, and through the years the alcohol stayed consistent, the drugs escalated.
I'll be darned.
Yep.
So at what point, what was the tipping point? Was there a big event or something like that? Or did you just come to a slow realization that you had a problem?
I knew that I had a problem. In fact, I had gone to some community groups out there on my own as a teenager at 16, kind of reaching out for help and, hoping to find some resources. But at the age of 19, I don't know if you want to call it a spiritual experience or if you want to call it a, miracle or whatever it is. But I was having an argument with a friend, and I sent a text that I was going to intentionally overdose, and I accidentally sent it to my mother instead of my friend.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay, well, that is
It's a thing.
message.
Whatever
huh?
you want to call it, it's a thing. And she called me, and I didn't have to go home. I wasn't at home, but I was tired.
Yeah.
I mean, I was only 19, but 6 years of doing what I was doing, I was tired. And she said, come home, and I went home and
Ready to do it.
ready to do it.
Is that how you discovered Ogden Regional's Alcohol and Chemical Treatment Program?
Yeah.
Was that your entry point? Did you try anything
Well,
before that? Or
No, we didn't know what to do. My parents didn't know what to do. They didn't know what resources were out there. And honestly, 10 years ago, there weren't that many. And so we just went to the closest hospital and, went in through the ER, and they held us for some time, and they said, hey, there's a detox program at Ogden Regional Hospital, and they have a bed available. And so that's where we went.
What was your experience like in that? I mean, you're pretty young to be going through something like that, but you go through with a group, right?
You
Were
do.
you the youngest or the oldest or in the middle, kind of?
There was probably around five people around my age that were there. And I mean, there might have been somebody that was 18. I don't know, but I was 19. So close to the youngest, if not the youngest. And then there was two gentlemen, one probably in his 60s and one in his 70s. So, I mean, we had an array of ages.
Pretty good range
there was probably a total of 20 of us, and all different ages, all different life experiences.
Right. What did the program do for you? I mean, was it easy to get through? Was it...
I wouldn't call it easy. No form of, self-discipline and kind of learning the hardships and how to get through them is easy, I'd say. But they made it comfortable, and they brought people in with great experiences to, speak to us. And that was one of the things I remember most, is they would bring people in who were just like me, alumni, and they'd come in and they would share kind of their story, and that helped a lot. The group processing was interesting. You get feedback from your peers and from the counselors and whatnot, and it was really good. It was good. It was a good experience.
It got you through, and here you are.
It did.
10 plus years later.
Yeah.
And you're living in a successful life. Is that right?
am.
You're
I
a
am.
mom. You have a good job.
Yeah. When I left, they gave me all these suggestions of what to do, right? Go out and find a sober community, here's some life skills, utilize these life skills. And I didn't follow any of them. I didn't follow any of those suggestions. And so honestly, at 5 months, I did relapse. And the one thing that I was able to do, that I continued to do, and the one suggestion that I listened to was the aftercare. So as I'm sure you know, Ogden Regional has a 2-year aftercare program. So I got to go for a week or every week and meet with this group, a consistent group. And we would discuss our week and what we were doing in our sobriety. And, when I relapsed, I wasn't sure what to do. There was nothing else that I was doing. I didn't follow those suggestions. But I had that aftercare group. And it was probably one of the main things that saved my life. Because if I didn't feel accountable to somebody, I may not have stopped. So it only took me 2 weeks, thankfully. I was only out there for 2 weeks and went back to that aftercare group and said, hey, you guys, I messed up. I didn't follow the suggestions. I'm here. And they walked me through it. And, I've been sober ever since then. And I completed that aftercare the full 2 years, and that's a big deal, that aftercare.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. And we hear that a lot.
Yep.
We really do. What would you say to someone out there, someone watching this right now? What would you say to them if they, they think they have a problem? Maybe they know they have a problem.
Yeah.
What would you have to say to them about our program?
Any form of help, right? Anything that you can get, anybody that you can grasp onto, it's important. But I would say one thing about Ogden Regional is, you're never too young. It reminds me of the group I had. You're never too young and you're never too old to make a change and to get sober. And it's really all inclusive. And the fact that if you're from the community, if you're from this area, you can continue going to that aftercare and have that support for 2 years. And then there's other things like the alumni programs and stuff. You can continue to be a part of for years and years to come. So you're never too young and you're never too old to just have a better life.
I like that.
Yeah.
That should be our slogan there on there. If you want more information, of course, you can find it right here at ogdenregional.com. Whitney Johnson has shared her story today. A very successful alumni, 12 years. Do you feel good? Do you feel really good?
I feel really good. I have an amazing life. I have kids that I'm raising. I have a fantastic job. I have a college degree. All these things that I didn't know would be possible. And if I hadn't, reached out to my aftercare for help, maybe wouldn't have been possible. So I'm happy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We did it for Whitney. Let's see if we can do it for you. If you think you have a problem, or you have a problem, or you just want to sit down and chat with somebody about what might be a problem, please check us out at ogdenregional.com. Whitney, thank you so much.
Thanks, Craig.
You're welcome.